characters, incidents, names, and situations used in this story are fictitious. The resemblance to any person living or dead is purely coincidental. The following video contains some horror elements and suitable for a mature audience, 16 plus. This channel and video is not for kids.
Hello friends, I am Aryan and welcome to our channel Midnight Horror Stories, where you get to hear true and scary ghost stories. In our channel, you will get to hear true and scary stories every Tuesday and Saturday. But before starting the story, all the friends who have come to this channel for the first time, please subscribe to the channel, and if you like the story, then definitely introduce yourself in the comment section. Then, let's do not take much time and start our story quickly.
Hello my friends, how are you all? I am back in this cold winter to tell you a hot horror story that will warm your bed, friends. Today's story is of 5 friends who went to Meghalaya on a trip, and because the whole area is called 7 Sisters and the northeast is very famous for its beauty. But at the same time, there is something hidden in the caves there, in the mountains, that we and you do not know. So the same friends have shared with us the horrific incident that happened to them, and they have also suffered a lot there. On the beautiful roads of Meghalaya, which were soaked with water, a jeep was moving at full speed. 5 friends, Rakesh, Dheeraj, Ranjan, Nisha and Kanchan were sitting in it. Ranjan was driving the jeep. They had rented the jeep because they were going camping in the caves near the Dauki river. The weather was very pleasant. The rain had stopped a while ago, due to which the roads were wet. The surrounding greenery was blooming even more when at one turn, the jeep wobbles slightly from Ranjan's hand, and he brakes with a jerk. All the people get together and panic. Dheeraj, who was next to Ranjan, immediately grabs Ranjan's hand and says, "Brother, what happened? How's the car?" Ranjan starts looking at the inside parts of the car in surprise, and then looks at the front. There was panic on his face. He says, "Man, I don't know what happened. It was as if the car was not turning." Then Rakesh, who was sitting behind, says, "Ranjan, I was telling you to stay at the hotel, but you did not listen to me. Saturn is in the second phase of your moon sign. Your brother-in-law is going on. Anything bad can happen at any time." After hearing Rakesh's words, both Dheeraj and Ranjan take a deep breath. Dheeraj says, "Oh man Rakesh, you have started again. Won't you close this chapter of your Pandit here too? Look at yourself. It doesn't look like you're on a trip. It feels like we are taking you to a temple to worship. A garland around your neck, a ring on your fingers, this astrologer's book in your hand. You will ruin our trip." Rakesh says, "No man, I am telling the truth. I had seen Ranjan's horoscope last night. Its constellations are not going well at all, and Saturn remains in its stable state for the entire 3 phases. Ranjan should be a little cautious, and according to me, Ranjan should not drive." Ranjan was not believing Rakesh's words at all. But this accident had raised some doubts about whether Rakesh's words were right. But he said in his cool style, "Dude Rakesh, don't take tension. Nothing will happen. But yes, if any of you have to drive, you can. Because I can't take the risk." Then Nisha makes fun of Ranjan and says, "It seems you took Rakesh's words seriously." Ranjan says, "There is nothing like that. But if someone gets hurt, the entire responsibility will fall on me. I just can't take that responsibility." Saying this, Ranjan goes back and Dheeraj drives the car. Crossing the road, they reach a place of rocks, where there were many caves. Caves are a form of caves. The cave which is very deep is called a cave. It is completely natural and is mostly formed in large rocks. The river was flowing not far from the rocks. The calm waves of the river were very pleasant to see. These people had stopped their car before the rocks started. Crossing the high and low rocks, they placed their belongings near a neat rock. Dheeraj said, "Amazing man. I've only seen such a place in TV movies. I didn't know there were such places in India." Nisha says, "Really man, I thought I would have to go out of India to see such a place." That's when Akash asks where to set up a camp, here or in that place. Ranjan points to a wall and says, "Actually, there was a lot of space on the outside in that wall. She was also a little open and looked neat too." Seeing that shoulder, Dheeraj says, "Nice man, what place have you found? Let's do one thing. That's where we go. Anyway, no one knows when it might rain." As they move further into the rocks, they find that there are many such caves here, but they didn't know the depth of those caves. In the end, they stop at the same cave to which Ranjan had pointed. In fact, It was in a fairly large space and was covered from the top. They set up all the stuff according to their plan and have a lot of fun until the evening. But as dusk falls, the river begins to take on a strange form, a frightening look. The waves of the river were now completely silent. It seemed as if the waves of the river wanted to flow, but someone has stopped her or she is not flowing because of anyone's fear. The atmosphere that was pleasant and joyful until a while ago was now becoming scary, and everyone felt it, but it didn't come on anyone's tongue. As night falls, they gather some wood and light a campfire. The cold was also increasing. Rakesh says, "Man, we will not stay out for long, they will lie down on time. There is no one around here except us. No wild animals should come from anywhere." Ranjan says, "Hey man, Rakesh.
Why are you so scared? You have a lot of faith in God. You have to be brave. And you are just as cowardly." Rakesh says, "Fear has its place and caution has its place. I'm going to lie down." Shortly after Rakesh, Nisha and Kanchan also go to lie down in a camp. Dheeraj and Ranjan talk for a long time. Then Dheeraj also says, "Man, come on, we also lie down. How long will they sit like this? And the fire is almost extinguished." Ranjan says, "Yes, okay, you go. I'll take a puff." Dheeraj also goes inside and Ranjan sits outside smoking a cigarette. Suddenly there is a sound like the utensils falling in his ears. It looks like some of the pots are colliding. The sound was coming from inside the cave. Ranjan looks at the back of the camp in shock, where there was only darkness. That voice comes again, and this time Ranjan stands up nervously. He had a flashlight in his hand. He immediately lights his flashlight and hits the wall of the cave on the backside of the camp. Then he sees a shadow on the wall. It was a shadow of a woman. Ranjan widens his eyes to see if it is really a shadow of a human being or not. Then he sees the shadow moving. Before Ranjan can say anything again, he hears a faint laugh from inside the cave. Ranjan can't stop himself and his steps start moving towards Kandra. As he struck the light of the torch against the wall, the shadow of the woman was also moving forward. It was as if she was driving the shadow Ranjan behind her. Going a little further, the cave was divided into 3 parts and the shadow began to grow in the middle part. Ranjan paused for a moment and looked at both the faces of that Kandra. There was a deep silence between the two. Ranjan walked behind the shadow in the middle part. That's when he noticed cracks on the cave wall. Ranjan, who had gone deep into that cave, he saw some old utensils. Among those utensils was a brass pot with a lid covering its mouth. There was a strange sound coming from that pot like anklets filtering inside. The pot caught Ranjan's attention. Ranjan was nervous about touching the pot. That's why he pushed the pot with his foot. How to know what's inside the pot? The pot immediately rolled on the ground and its lid opened. As soon as the lid opened, a scorpion came out of it, which was quite large and black in color. Ranjan's whistle was lost at the sight of the scorpion. That's when he saw black flowers bursting out of the cracks in the wall, and it looked like the flower was alive. It looked like it was an insect eating flower. Out of curiosity, Ranjan touches one of the flowers and his suspicion proves to be true. As soon as Ranjan placed his finger on the flower immediately grabbed Ranjan's finger. Ranjan screamed as he was in severe pain, and his screams reached Dheeraj and his friends. Dheeraj, who was still in a raw sleep, woke up immediately after hearing Ranjan's voice. When he went out, he saw that Ranjan was not around. He called out to Ranjan, but nothing was known about Ranjan. But Nisha, Kanchan and Rakesh, all 3 got up. When they came out of the camp, they asked what happened. Dheeraj said, "Where is Ranjan?" It was as if he screamed. Rakesh said, "What did you shout? Where did he go?" Dheeraj said, "I don't know, I went to lie down. He stopped outside to smoke a cigarette." Nisha says nervously, "Where can he suddenly disappear without telling? There is darkness and silence around here." When everyone's eyes fell on the embers of the fire, it was almost over too. They take their torches and look around for Ranjan. Only then does the light of Dheeraj's torch go to the inside of the cave. He immediately says, "Guys, look at it. The cave inside and maybe even the long way. Did Ranjan go inside it?" Kanchan says, "Yes, somewhere an animal has interrupted Ranjan." Nisha, Kanchan and says, "Oh, no, don't say that. I don't know what Ranjan would have gone there to do. And that too alone." Rakesh says, "It is useless to talk about all this at this time. Let's go and find Ranjan." They go out to find Ranjan inside that wall. On the other hand, the growing emptiness in Ranjan's body was weakening him. He couldn't control himself and fell to the ground standing up. His mind was working, but he had become a living corpse. Just then a woman with a long nose and tangled hair appears in front of him. His eyes were closed. The woman was dressed in red, a black bandage was tied on the head. The skin of the body hung, quite like an old woman's. Ranjan's eyes also fell on the woman. He was terrified to see her, but his body didn't react at all. Then the long-nosed woman opened her mouth and stuck out her tongue. Gradually, the woman's tongue became so long that it hit Ranjan's forehead. Seeing this, Ranjan's eyes, which were still open, now closed, and gradually his mind also became numb. The woman then picked up Ranjan and took him inside from there. On the other hand, Ranjan's friends start moving in the cave. Going a little further, they see 3 parts in the cavern. They stop there. Nisha says, "Oh man, these are 3 parts. Where should we go? Ranjan must have gone somewhere." Dheeraj says, "I don't know man, let's do one thing, we are divided into 3 parts. Then Rakesh says, "No, we will not do this.
Whichever path we take, we will all go together. Can't you see? What a dark cave it is. God forbid, if there is a wild animal or something else inside, then it is better for us to stay together." Conscience says yes, Rakesh is absolutely right, and we don't know how long we have been calling Ranjan. Deer stands at the mouth and starts hitting the torch in the cave and tries to understand which way it would be better to go. Only then does the light of the flashlight stop on a glowing object in the central cave. Seeing that glow, Deers fixes the light of the torch there and says, "What is that? Looks a bit shiny." When the rest of the people look at that thing carefully, they see that one watch. Nisha says she looks clocky. Isn't it for Ranjan? Hearing this, everyone's heartbeat quickens. Without saying anything, Deers starts to run away. His friends were also behind him. When they get close to that object, they see that it is indeed a watch, and that too of Ranjan. Rakesh's eyes widen as he looks at the clock and he says, "This is Ranjan's watch. How did his watch fall here? I'm afraid something happened to him." Now everyone was sweating. Everyone runs inward quickly without saying anything. Going a little further, they also see cracks in the walls of the cave. But they were so upset about Ranjan that they did not pay attention to the cracks in those walls. All that was going on in his mind was entertainment. He wanted to see his friends somehow. That's why they were running away unconscious. As they advanced, the cracks were growing and flower buds were blooming from them. But no one pays attention to those flower buds. Then they also see some old utensils scattered around. Nisha says, "How are these utensils? Did anyone live here?" Conscience says, "This is what it feels like to look at the utensils, but who would be living here?" Rakesh says, "Maybe someone has made his shelter here, and now he has left because these utensils look very old." They once again sound like Ranjan's voice, but Ranjan did not know anything, so all the friends start moving forward again. Gradually the cave becomes cramped. The path becomes shorter as you go further. One could go further by lying down or sitting down that path. They stop there. Deer says, "Yeah man, what a way it has become short. Would Ranjan have gone into it?" Nisha says, "Maybe it's just inside it because we didn't find Ranjan or any other evidence of it anywhere." Deer says, "Let's go inside and see." Rakesh says, "But the road is very narrow. I feel suffocated just by looking at it. If we go in, let's go." "Yes, that's okay." Then Conscience says, "Deers, if you go inside, keep making us feel like you belong. Keep making some noise." Deers nods yes and starts walking on his knees in that narrow passage. In fact, the suffocation was gradually increasing, and the cave was getting colder. With the increasing steps, the fear of endurance was also increasing. He just wanted to see his friend somehow. For a moment, he wondered if this was the case. Ranjan has gone inside those 2 different caves, and we are looking for him here unnecessarily. But going a little further, he sees the light in that tunnel-like small cave. He turns off his flashlight and goes straight to that light. Going a little further, he sees a very large and high space that was completely flat. It looked like it was a natural hole. There were many large stones around, and some figures were carved on them, as if they were pictures of a goddess. On each stone there was a crescent moon made of red vermilion. Deers was looking at the ground on each stone when his eyes fell on such a scene, seeing which Deers' breath stuck in his throat. He sees Ranjan lying naked near a stone with a woman in a horrible disguise sitting on top of him. Actually, the woman was having sex with Ranjan. As soon as Deers' eyes go to the scene, his eyes are torn and torn. The woman was no less than a witch in appearance. As soon as Deers realizes that this woman is having sex with Ranjan, he screams. Seeing Deers screaming, the witch looks around in panic. His eyes fall on Deers. She gets angry at him and sticks out her tongue to lengthen it. Seeing this, Deers slips backwards with agility, while that witch's tongue gets longer. But Deers also showed full agility. He leaves the torch there and runs away from there without stopping. His hands and feet were trembling, but he had not given up. He comes out of that cramped cave and starts panting. On the other hand, the witch could not do much because doing so would interrupt her action. In fact, the witch was performing a tantric ritual to regain her powers. Seeing Deers nervous, all three ask together, "What happened? Why are you nervous?" Deers stammers and says, "I saw Ranjan." Hearing Ranjan's name brings a sense of solace in everyone's mind. But seeing the scared face of Deers, everyone thinks that maybe something bad has happened to Ranjan. Rakesh asks, "What did you see? Where is Ranjan? He's fine. He's not okay?" And no, he shakes his head and says, "No, he's not okay. I saw him, his body was blue and a witch was sitting on him. Ranjan is in danger." Saying this, Deers kneels on the ground and starts pulling his hair. Deers starts crying loudly. That's when he notices that the woman had a very long tongue and was chasing Deers. He immediately stands up and pushes his friend, saying, "Let's get out of here quickly. We have to get out of here." She was truly a witch. Her hair was tangled. The nose was long. She was not a human being. He didn't have eyes. It was as if he closed his eyes. He really didn't have eyes. "We have to get out of here." Saying this, Deers starts to run away.
The rest of his friends also run after him. On the way back, they see the walls of the cave. There were cracks in the walls, and the same black flowers were coming out of the cracks. Dheeraj, Rakesh and Nisha had gone ahead, but Kanchan stopped seeing those flowers because those flowers were attracting Kanchan towards them. There was also a faint fragrance coming from those flowers. At the same time, those flowers were opening and closing like a star twinkling, because of which those flowers seemed even more attractive. Out of curiosity, Kanchan touches a flower, and as soon as he touches the flower, it cuts the flower on Kanchan's hand. It swallows her entire finger inwards, and this time the flower grabbed Kanchan's finger with all its might. Kanchan screams and pulls her hand backwards. As she pulls her hand out of the flower, her finger remains in the flower, which makes Kanchan even more nervous and starts screaming. His friends had only moved a little. They also immediately stop and turn around to look at Kanchan. When Dheeraj hits the torch here and there, he sees Kanchan standing scared. They quickly go to Kanchan and see that blood is coming out of his finger. Nisha holds Kanchan's hand and says, "Kanchan, what happened? Your finger, where did your finger go?" Kanchan points to the flower that had now disappeared from that wall. What does Nisha say? "What happened to your finger?" Dheeraj begins to hit the flashlight's light around on the ground and walls, but he does not see Kanchan's finger anywhere, nor does he see any weapon that has cut Kanchan's finger. Kanchan was in a lot of pain. Gradually, Kanchan's body starts to go numb and she falls to the ground. His friends handle him and try to talk to him, but Kanchan had also stopped speaking. Nisha slaps Kanchan on the cheeks a lot and tries to lift her, but slowly Kanchan's body was getting colder. Dheeraj says, "Something is wrong here. We have to get out with Kanchan." Dheeraj carries Kanchan on his shoulder and they quickly carry him out of the cave. It was quite dark outside. The atmosphere still looked scary and terrifying. It seemed that black forces had spread around. On that night of terror, they did not know exactly how to save Kanchan. He himself did not know what had happened to Kanchan. He did not know where one of his fingers went. That's when Rakesh chants the Shiva mantra to relax himself. He says after a while, "There is no point in staying here like this. There is a village in the middle of the direction we came from. We take it there because we don't have enough time to take it to the hospital. Look at this. His finger is turning blue, and you also saw Ranjan turning blue. It may have been bitten by a dangerous insect and now it has spread in its body. We must take it to that village immediately before its whole body turns blue." Nisha says, "But Ranjan, he's inside. What happened to him? How are we going to save him?" Dheeraj says, "We will see him later, and looking at his body, I didn't even think he was alive. First we have to look at Kanchan." They put Kanchan in the jeep and immediately leave for the village that they saw on the way. It was a dark night. Dark clouds absolutely covered the stars. Only the headlights of the jeep were visible. Veering through a rough road, Dheeraj somehow takes his jeep to the village.
There was silence in the village. Some houses had 100-watt bulbs burning in front of them, while some had lanterns in front of them. It was a very backward village. As soon as he entered the village, Dheeraj stopped his jeep. Without delay, both Rakesh and Dheeraj got down from the jeep, and Nisha was still trying to lift Kanchan. Although Kanchan was seeing and hearing everything, she was unable to say anything. Dheeraj knocked on the door of a house. The door had opened in the first two sounds.
Seeing two unknown city men at his door, his face showed concern. He understood that maybe these people were in trouble. That's why they came to this village so late at night. Muniraj asked, "What happened? Who are you guys?" Dheeraj said, "Sir, we need your help. Our friend has fainted. She is not saying anything. Please come and see what has happened to him." On hearing this, Muniraj immediately came out. Dheeraj showed Muniraj to his friend Kanchan with the help of a torch. Muniraj's eyes fell on Kanchan's severed finger. When Muniraj carefully looked at Kanchan's finger, he saw that the indigo was slowly spreading in Kanchan's hand. When he looked at the severed finger very carefully, he found that it was beginning to have small worms. Seeing this, Muniraj's eyes widened. He said, "Oh my God, what is this?" Somewhere this Mayavati said this, Muniraj's mouth was closed. He smelt the snake. He couldn't say anything further. Rakesh said, "What happened?" Muniraj said to take it to Vaidyaji's house quickly. Dheeraj asked, "Where is it? Where's their house?" Muniraj sat in the jeep and said, "Let me tell you." Dheeraj also quickly started the car and proceeded further into the village. After leaving some houses, there was also a doctor's house. Muniraj is now more agile than Dheeraj and Rakesh. He points to a house with his hand and says, "Just stop the car here, son." They get down quickly. Dheeraj and Rakesh also help Kanchan down. Muniraj was knocking on the door of Viraj Vaidya with great anxiety. Viraj ji was also coming from inside. "Hey, I'm coming. Who's so late at night? What caused the trouble?" As soon as he opens the door, he finds Muniraj in front of him. Viraj says, "Hey Muniraj, what happened when you went so late at night?" Muniraj points to Kanchan and says, "Viraj ji, quickly look at this child." Saying this, Muniraj enters inside. Dheeraj and his friends also come in. Viraj understands that these people are urban and maybe tourists. They quickly make Kanchan lie down at the place indicated by Vaidyaji. Virajji takes a good look at Kanchan and also looks at his severed finger. That is what he says. "Hey, did you go to Mayavati?" Hearing Mayavati's name, Dheeraj and his friends make a strange face because they did not know who Mayavati was. Rakesh surprisedly says, "Who is Mayavati? We don't know any Mayavati. Actually, we went camping in those caves on the banks of the river, but they stayed outside the cave. Then one of our friends disappeared from there. We thought he must have gone inside the cave. That's why we went there too. But we found our friend with a witch. That too in a very bad condition. So we ran away from there in fear. And when we came back, this accident happened to our friend. We ourselves do not know how its finger was cut. Perhaps a poisonous insect has bitten it, and it has been unconscious ever since." Virajji says that it is not a poisonous insect, but a flower that has bitten it. The poisonous flower belongs to none other than Mayavati. I don't understand how you guys got to Mayavati. Why did they go into those caves? Nobody goes there. Dheeraj asks with a strange face, "Why? What's inside it?" Then Muniraj says, "Hey Viraj, you do all these things later. Look at this child first. Who is this Mayavati and who was the witch in the shoulder that Dheeraj had seen?" Muniraj narrates the story of Mayavati. He tells that Mayavati was the wife of Bhaironath, a blacksmith, and that blacksmith belonged to this village. The blacksmith was not very good looking, but his wife Mayavati was one of the most beautiful women in the entire village, or rather it was the most beautiful. If anyone saw him, he would see him. Even the desire to have his body was mostly inside every man. Mayavati herself was not happy with her husband. For one, he wasn't pretty to look at. Second, he was also a little backward in terms of money. Most of the women in the village were also upset that their husbands were obsessed with Mayavati's beauty and did not miss any chance to see her. That's why those women always used to give Mayavati ups and downs. Women used to say, "Mayavati, you are so beautiful, but your husband Bhaironath is nothing special. The two of you don't even get along. If you had to marry someone else in our village, you would have done it. There were so many beautiful boys. Where did you like this Bhairanath? Neither in money nor in appearance. Sometimes it feels like your luck has been broken. Mayavati used to like these things of women very badly. And somewhere these bad things made a place of hatred for her husband in Mayavati's mind. She would quarrel with her husband without any reason and harass him. On the other hand, Mayavati also knew that most of the boys and men in the village liked her. Let's look at that. That's why she was now attracted to other men. Initially it was only conversation, but gradually Mayavati started going beyond her limits. When the blacksmith went to work, Mayavati would call a man from the neighborhood to her house and talk to him about every good and bad thing. Most of them saw the man going to Mayavati's house. When Mayavati saw that her husband did not know anything about her act, fear also went out of her mind. Earlier, the man used to go to Mayavati's house secretly, but now he started going openly. And as soon as he started going openly, this thing could not even be published by the blacksmith when this thing came out in his ears. He asked his wife about it. Mayavati told a white lie to hide her crime. But the blacksmith knew that his wife did not like him at all. And in such a situation, it was not a big deal that she was related to a non-man.
However, since the blacksmith asked, the man's visits to the house had decreased. But one day the blacksmith held his wife Mayavati Konge's hand. And then there was a lot of quarrel between the two of them that day. The blacksmith thought, well, maybe my wife is very beautiful, so she must have been seduced. But the series did not stop there. Mayavati got rid of the boy in the neighborhood, but Mayavati made another boy crazy, and this matter could not be hidden from the blacksmith for long. Now, Bhairanath understood that his wife was immoral. This time there was a lot of quarrel between Bhairanath and Mayavati. The quarrel escalated so much that Bhairanath cut off his wife's nose. His wife survived, but she looked very ugly because of the nose. The beauty that she used to be proud of, because of which she used to quarrel with her husband Bhairanath. Now due to that ugliness, she had stopped leaving the house. Gradually, the hatred between Bhairanath and Mayavati started increasing even more. Mayavati used to suffocate alone in the house. One day an Aghori came to his door. He needed some food and drink, so he was going from house to house collecting some stuff. When Mayavati saw that it was an Aghori, Mayavati had a plan in her mind. Mayavati knew very well that the Aghoris get a lot of accomplishments and powers. That is why Mayavati decided that she would seek help from Aghori. Mayavati gave ration items to the Aghoris. He also pleaded for help. That Aghori was a true and good-hearted person. That's why he decided to help Mayavati. The Aghori stayed in this village. He mostly used to meet in a cave near the river because he used to do his sadhana there. Here Mayavati also used to cover her mouth and come to that Aghori. Mayavati had learned witchcraft and tantric practices from him. Gradually he got many siddhis, and then he did Pushpa Kinnari sadhana so that he could become beautiful. But when she was doing this sadhana, suddenly her husband Bhairanath broke her sadhana and she became ugly instead of beautiful. Actually, Mayavati wanted to fix her ugly nose and become like before. But due to the dissolution of the sadhana, his nose became even more ugly. The nose became so long that it looked like a witch. Mayavati has now become even more upset. She blamed her husband for all this. Mayavati was so angry with her husband that day that she killed her husband through her siddhis and buried him in the courtyard of that house. When Bhairanath did not appear for several days, people thought of going to his house to know about him. Mayavati also told everyone that she has not come home for a few days. But it could not be hidden from the villagers for long that Bhairanath had died. Many people in the village had seen Mayavati going to that Aghori. At the same time, he had also seen Mayavati's strange nose. When people chased her, they came to know that Mayavati had killed her husband and buried him in the house. At the same time, it was also revealed by that Aghori that Mayavati has started chanting tantric mantras. Now people were afraid that Mayavati might become more angry. So people started opposing him and asking him to leave the village. But Mayavati had decided not to leave the village, so she clashed with the villagers. There was a lot of quarrel between the villagers and Mayavati. The quarrel escalated so much that sticks started to be used, and in the meantime Mayavati died. The villagers did not regret their actions at all. According to them, they did exactly the right thing, because if Mayavati was alive here, she could have harmed the villagers. People used to say that if she can kill her husband, what will she leave to someone else? Well, people thought of cremating Mayavati. They took him to the crematorium. But as soon as the funeral pyre was lit, Mayavati's body sat up. People tried to make him lie down again by hitting him on the head with sticks, but his body would rise again and again. At the same time, people also noted that even after the fire in the woods, Mayavati's body is not on fire. People tried very hard to burn him, but could not burn his body. Everyone was worried as to why Mayavati's body was not burning. Then the villagers asked Aghori for help. Aghori said that he had achieved many such accomplishments so that his body would not be destroyed after death. But there is a point to that too. Mayavati's soul will remain away from her body for 7 new moons, and if her body is not destroyed in any way by then, her soul will enter her body again. Knowing this, everyone was terrified. They asked Aghori about destroying Mayavati's body. Then the Aghori asked to collect water from 7 wells and a special type of black colored flowers. Aghori said that Shiva mantras will be chanted on the water of these 7 wells and that particular type of flower. Then only that water will be able to destroy Mayavati's body. People were scared anyway. So the entire villagers collected water from 7 wells. Some people in the village went out in search of black flowers. Only then was the flower found on a mountain in the Himalayas. That flower was an insect-eating flower. If that flower bites someone, then his body gradually starts going numb, and then his heartbeat also stops at one time. These flowers were specially brought here for Mayavati. Aghori turned that water into acid through his sadhana and destroyed Mayavati's body. When Mayavati's flesh decomposed and disappeared, only her bones were left. Mayavati's bones could not even be burned. Now in such a situation, it was not right to throw her bones here and there because she had become a powerful sadhvi. If someone had got her bones in his hands and he had done some tantra mantra to him, then it could have been a disaster. That is why the Aghori locked the bones in an enchanted brass pot in his cave where he used to do his sadhana. The Aghoris had instructed everyone not to open this pot because it contained all the ashes of Mayavati. Whoever opened that pot, Mayavati can come back to this world only by capturing her body. Then it doesn't matter if she gets her body again or not. No one could go to that cave, so the Aghori had put some stones there and also closed the mouth of that cave, and now no one goes towards those caves. I don't understand how you guys got there. Perhaps with the passage of time, people made the natural place a place to visit. Otherwise, this nature was mostly everywhere.
People destroyed that nature and built cities, and now they have come here to play with our nature. Dheeraj lowers his eyes and says, "Forgive us. We didn't know something like this could happen inside that cave. We were finding peace and tranquility there. Little did we know it would be there. But I didn't understand one thing. If the mouth of that cave was closed, then how did Ranjan reach that place?" Muniraj said that it is possible that the stones covering the mouth of the cave have slowly slipped away on their own. There is movement under the ground. Earthquakes also occur. When those stones are removed, the path is made automatically. Rakesh says, "So what should we do now? We saw our friend with that witch. Is there no way to escape that witch?" Muniraj says that now only that Aghori can tell this. Nisha says in surprise, "Is that Aghori? But you're telling me that it's been a long time coming. Will that Aghori still be alive today?" Muniraj says, "Yes, he is still alive, but is doing his sadhana 13 kilometers away from here. As long as we get to that Aghori, I don't think we will be able to save your friend." Rakesh says, "But we can give it a try." Muniraj says, "No effort. we have to stop Mayavati, because after listening to your words, I think that now Mayavati has come back. If she comes back, she won't spare anyone, especially these villagers." They were talking when Viraj also comes out and says that Kanchan is out of danger now. He has regained consciousness. On hearing this, everyone is comforted and everyone thanks God. They quickly go to their friend Kanchan and check on him. Then Kanchan tells what happened to her. Hearing that incident, everyone's senses are blown away because no one had seen that flower so carefully. Well, everyone knew that Mayavati is a very dangerous witch who has now returned. He has to stop before he can do anything. Dheeraj says to Muniraj, "Sir, I don't think we should delay. One of our companions is imprisoned in that cave and she is a very dangerous woman. You go to that Aghori as soon as possible." Muniraj says, "Yes, just wait for the sun to come out. Then let's go." After 2-3 hours, the sun also comes out. They drove 13 kilometers from there without delay, go far away to a deserted forest area. There was a cave made of trees in that forest, in which the Aghori was doing his sadhana. At the time they reached there, the Aghori was still a chariot in his sadhana, but he had sensed the arrival of some people. He opened his eyes and stepped out of the tree cave. The Aghori recognized where these people had come from when he saw them. Seeing those people, the worry on Aghori's face also appeared. He said, "You are from the village of Ravani?" Muniraj said, "Yes, Maharaj, we belong there. We are in a big mess. You must remember the Mayavati whom you locked in a brass pot in a cave." Hearing Mayavati's name, Aghori is shocked and asks if Mayavati is the same Mayavati who will be alive again after death. Muniraj says, "Yes, the same Mayavati. She is now alive. And she has made a friend of these people her victim. We don't know if that person will be alive or not, but you come with us. That cave has opened. That pot has also been opened." On hearing this, the Aghori is shocked. He nervously says, "Are you telling the truth? In fact, Mayavati has come out?" Dheeraj says, "Yes, Baba, I saw that his nose was very long. There were tangled hair. The eyes were not the same. His tongue was also very long. You come with us now, before something happens to our partner." The Aghori also accompanies them to their village without delay. The Aghori collects some material from the village and then goes straight to the place where these people had prepared their camp. But when everyone reaches there, they are surprised to see the view there. There were no more caves. What little of their belongings they had was scattered. It looked like someone had destroyed him. Dheeraj says in surprise, "Oh my God, what happened to all this?" Kanchan says, "Is this the same place where we camped?" Rakesh says, "Yes, this is the same place. Look at this, it's our baggage. Perhaps that wall is now destroyed." On hearing this, the Aghori says that if that Kandhara has been destroyed, then a big problem is going to come. We'll have to find your friend Ranjan. Where is he? Saying this, the Aghori start looking around in big stones on the bank of the river. The stones were so large that there was a lot of gaps in many places in between. All his friends were also looking for Ranjan. Suddenly, Muniraj's eyes fall on a man on the bank of the river. This person was none other than Mayavati, who had turned her way towards the river. Her long tangled hair looked extremely scary. At first glance, Muniraj understood that it was probably Mayavati. For a few seconds, Muniraj stopped speaking, but he said with cupped lips, "Look, who is he?" Muniraj pointed to the river. When everyone looked at her, they saw that it was a woman. Dheeraj recognized the woman as soon as he saw her and said, "Yes, it is her." Aghori said, "You guys stay here. I am leaving." The Aghori had barely taken a few steps when Mayavati stood up and looked back. Blood was dripping from his long nose. Blood was falling on Ranjan's body, but Ranjan was at the bottom of a stone. That's why the Aghori or anyone else couldn't see it. Mayavati looks at the Aghori, laughs and says, "You have come. You can't stop me this time. I've got a body. I won't spare anyone. I will take revenge on all those who killed me." Saying this, Mayavati lifts Ranjan's body. As soon as everyone sees Ranjan, they get nervous. His body was completely black.
He was completely naked and almost all the blood had oozed from his body. Mayavati picks up Ranjan with both her hands and starts walking back one step at a time. She wanted to go into the river. The Aghori understood that if it swept Ranjan's body in the water, Mayavati would get Ranjan's body. The Aghori shouted, "Wait, you can't do this. Leave that guy alone." Mayavati laughs and says, "No, it has revived me. Only when he dies will I be alive forever." Hearing this, Dheeraj gets even ahead of the angry Aghori. Though his friends try to stop him, he reaches Mayavati by tearing stones. Dheeraj angrily says, "You can't do anything to my friend. You yourself are a dead soul. You cheated on your husband. Who could be more unlucky than you that your spiritual practice was not accepted and you became a witch?" On hearing this, Mayavati went mad with anger. He stuck out his tongue. Mayavati swiftly stuck out her tongue and wrapped Dheeraj in her tongue. Patience was completely tied. Mayavati's grip on her tongue was getting stronger. Poor Dheeraj could not even say anything. His hands and feet were completely tied. Slowly his breath was stopping. Then the Aghori picked up a stone from the ground and blew some mantras on it. He then hurled the stone swiftly at the tongue wrapped around Dheeraj's body. As soon as the stone hit Mayavati's tongue, Mayavati immediately withdrew her tongue from Dheeraj and calmed down. Now she was just doing her job. Mayavati turned towards the river with Ranjan. Mayavati placed Ranjan's body on the very bank of the river. Sometimes the water of the river was touching Ranjan's feet. After this, Mayavati started bowing to the river. At the same time, she was reciting a mantra. Without delay, Aghori decided to get close to Mayavati. But as soon as he moved a little, he found that a lot of scorpions were coming out of the stones lying in the ground and spreading around. In such a situation, it was very difficult for Aghori to go to Ranjan. When Aghori looked at those scorpions carefully, he found that the scorpions were changing their color again and again. The Aghori took out the ashes from his bag and sprinkled them on the scorpions. And as soon as the ashes touched the scorpions, they turned to stone. Seeing this, the Aghori understood that this scorpion was just an impostor. The Aghori began to spray even more ashes on the scorpions. Gradually, they all turned into scorpion stone. The Aghori sees that it is a transparent stone. The Aghori hurriedly began to collect the stones. He also called out to Dheeraj and his friends so that they too could help him reconcile the stones. Everyone started gathering stones. Aghori said, "Hit these stones on Mayavati's body. Hit as many as you can." All the people started throwing those stones on Mayavati's body. The first one or two stones did not affect Mayavati at all. But as the number of stones increased, Mayavati's action broke down and her attention was corrupted. He looked back angrily. His eyes were completely black and red blood flowed from them. Seeing her terrifying face, everyone panicked and everyone stopped their hands. Then the Aghori said, No one has to stop. Keep hitting. Hit him in the eye and try to hit him on the nose if possible. All the people together keep hitting those stones on Mayavati's body until Mayavati's body starts breaking like a glass. Slowly, his body starts cracking like a glass, and then there comes a time when he becomes a shatterer. Then Aghori runs to the place where Mayavati was standing. It was a flat place. There he sees a lot of glass-like pieces of stone. He gathers them all and tells Muniraj to go there. There must be a matka around here. Find that matcha and bring it. Muniraj, Rakesh and all the others start looking for the pot in which Mayavati was locked up earlier. After some time, the pot is found stuck between a stone there. Muniraj gives the pot to the Aghori. The Aghori puts pieces of stone in that pot. Aghori's eyes also go to the bones lying inside. Aghori says, "Good done. We recaptured Mayavati before the bones came out. But this time I will not leave Mayavati in a cave just like that." Rakesh asks, "Then what will you do with that Mayavati?" Aghori says, "I will take him with me and make him my slave with my accomplishments." Then Aghori's eyes go to Ranjan's blackened body. Forgetting everything, he moves towards Ranjan and sees that his body is completely stiff and there is no life in his body. Everyone tries to pick up Ranjan, but Ranjan was dead. Aghori checks the vein in Ranjan's hand, which was now closed. Muniraj checks the heartbeat, which had now stopped. Seeing the disappointed faces of both, all the friends are surprised. Rakesh says, we should take Ranjan to the hospital once. Then Aghori says, take it. If you're not satisfied, then take it, but there is nothing left in it now. The only good thing is that Mayavati could not succeed in her objective. However, one death did occur because of him. All the friends were very sad about Ranjan's death. They somehow brought him to the hospital. The doctor also declared Ranjan dead. Everyone was terribly embarrassed. They were going back with the same sorrow as they had come to Meghalaya. No one knew what to say to Ranjan's family. But all the people take Ranjan's dead body with courage and tell about it. Although not many people believed this story, Ranjan's post-mortem report had said a lot which according to science could never be possible. Well, Ranjan is gone. All that was left was his last moment. So friends, whenever we go to a new place, we should keep complete information about it. Especially in Kashmir, Himalayas, Nepal and the northeast region, there are a lot of secrets which the people of India do not know till now. And I have also come to know so much about them because a lot of people there are sharing their stories with us. So if there is more incident from that area in the future, then I will definitely share it with you.
So friends, this was our story today. How did you like the story? Please do tell me by commenting in the comment box. And also, those who haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to the channel. Take care of yourself and your family. I will meet you soon with a new story. Thank you.